Hello, everyone. Hi, welcome to my very special live stream. Today is not quite my birthday, but in a couple of days it will be a milestone birthday. A milestone birthday is a birthday that hits a milestone. For example, when you turn 10, when you're first in double figures, and then when you hit 16 in this country is a milestone because you're then officially, in some regards, an adult because you can have a driving license at 16. And then another milestone is 18 because then you have permission to do many other things. And then 21 is the next milestone. You could say 30 is a milestone birthday, but 40, middle-aged, is a milestone birthday for many. And then I guess every 10 years after that, if you reach it, is a good thing. It's a milestone birthday. So do I have many 40-year-olds or 40 plus people watching today? Hopefully not just me. Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. Lovely to see you all here. Nishanta, hi. Ahmed, Maria, Silvio, Manish, Ray, hi. Honza, lots of you being very kind as well, wishing me a happy birthday. So thank you very much. And we have a new member as well. Lovely, Louis, hello. Just scrolling back through your messages. Vivian, hi. Lisa, hello everyone, lovely. Thank you for joining. So today is going to be a bit of a mishmash live lesson. I'm going to do a few things to be in the spirit of being happy, because birthdays should be happy occasions, times to celebrate. Sometimes they're not always happy. Sometimes we find ourselves in situations where we can't spend our birthdays with people we love and care about. But today I am happy to be here and very happy to be turning 40. So we're going to be covering lots of happy things. The first thing I want to talk about are things that I've learnt in my 40 years of life. And I'd like you to also share with me things you've learnt in life, things that you feel differently about now than you did when you were younger. Imagine if you could go back to your younger self. What would you say to your younger self? A lesson in life. What would you tell yourself 20 years ago? Good advice for life. So here are my little titbits, my little pieces of advice. First, I say the body is a temple. You'll see this phrase quite a lot, actually. The body is a temple. My body is a temple. It comes from a famous quote. I'm just going to share it with you here. The body is a temple. And so you should treat it as such. The body is a temple, so you should treat it like a temple. You should respect it. And by that I mean, don't push it. Don't skip sleep. Like, make sleep a priority. Don't neglect your hydration. In fact, I'm terrible at keeping hydrated. I don't drink nearly enough water. And be mindful of what you eat, what you put into your body, I think is really, really important. Oh, bless you. Just had a super chat. Thank you so much. You say, hi, Anna, warmest wishes for a very happy birthday. That's very, very kind of you. I hope all is well with you. Thank you. So treat the body like it's a temple. Look after it. Especially now at my age, I definitely feel it when my diet isn't as good, or when I skip sleep, which happens sometimes without me meaning to because of having young children, or when I don't drink enough water. I'm very aware of it, and I can't recover as much as I used to. So treat the body as a temple. Another big one for me that I've learned is to respect yourself and respect your time. Now, for me, this is a big one because I have very little time. Very, very busy. Obviously, we have our courses now. So we have a big ELAN community to look after, lots of courses that we're building and running, lots and lots of students, as well as all the things I do on social and here on YouTube and Facebook. And so I don't have much time. And so I have to be very choosy and very careful with how I spend my time. And I find that if I don't respect my own time and myself, then nobody else does. So lots of people want your time. Lots of people will not respect your time. But if you do, then they will. Okay? I don't know if that really translates very well, but that's what I've learned is if I respect my time and I respect myself, then other people do too. Okay. What else? So here's one when we're talking about matters of the heart. So moving on to love. This is one that I've learned. Love is a choice, a commitment. Lots of people say that you can't help who you fall in love with, and to a certain extent, I agree. You can't help who you are attracted to. You can't be attracted to someone if you're really not. You can't make that happen. But as long as there's that initial attraction, then I think love, actual love, not lust, not romance. I think love is a choice that you make, and you can decide to commit to someone. You can decide to really make a relationship work or not. I found in previous relationships that if I just decide actually this person isn't right for me, then suddenly all those feelings I thought I had were gone. It was a conscious decision that I no longer wanted to be in that relationship. It wasn't love. It wasn't, it wasn't this thing that I couldn't help. So that's how I feel about it anyway. I'm sure many people would disagree with me. Another one that I think is very important, particularly for learners, is never fear mistakes or criticism. I've always been paranoid, and still am to a certain extent, about making mistakes and being criticized. It's particularly hard when you put yourself out in public and you're, allowing other people to make comment on your work. But making mistakes and receiving criticism is really important, and learning how to take criticism and how to deal with mistakes is really important, because it can either make you miserable and really affect your mental health, or it can make you stronger and it can make you strive to be better and improve. And when you're learning, this is particularly true. You make mistakes and you're okay about making mistakes. And when people correct you and point out your mistakes, then you learn from that rather than letting it put you off, or you don't want it to discourage you. You want it to motivate you to improve and move forward. Lovely. Ray, I always struggle with that word, commitment. I'm glad Google spell checker was invented. Yeah, I make loads of spelling mistakes. I'm always having to double check things, but that's because English doesn't really help you with spelling. Okay. I always make mistakes and I'm proud of it. Yes, good. That's how it should be. Obviously, learn from mistakes too. But yes, you shouldn't be ashamed of making mistakes at all. What else do we have? Ilaria, never fear mistakes or criticism. Totally agree with you, Anna. You make mistakes and you learn. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, my last little life lesson here is it's never too late to be happy. It's never too late. There's this funny pressure that we put on age. We feel like perhaps we're too young to do something, or that we don't deserve to be in a certain position in life because we haven't earned it, or we haven't done enough. Or, and in most cases, that we're too old to try something new. We're too old to change course, or to go for that new job, to learn a new skill. And that absolutely isn't true. There are many examples of people at all ages achieving things outside of the norm. People in their 80s and 90s picking up brand new skills, and very young people achieving fantastic, phenomenal things that people would think is not typical, not usual. And that brings me nicely on to the next part of our session, which is the learning part of the session. An article which is about the young tennis player who recently found herself victorious. And you may know who I'm talking about, but if not, we'll go into it in just a moment. So those are my life lessons. Your body is a temple. Respect yourself and respect your time. Love is a choice and a commitment, and something you have to work on. And you should never fear mistakes or criticism. And it's never too late to be happy. Okay, so the next section that I'm going to come on to now, is it your 40th birthday? It will be next week. It will be next week. Oh, I can't believe it. Where have those years gone? Okay, so we'll talk about birthday traditions towards the end of the session, but now I want to talk about a young woman who recently has been all over the news, a young tennis player who's done fantastically well. And before I go into the actual article, I'm going to give you some vocabulary that you're going to need for understanding the article. We're going to do it at a C1 level, so some things might be quite advanced for you. Don't worry if you find anything confusing. Just ask the question and hopefully I'll see the question and be able to help you. Okay, so let me see. Can I make this any bigger? There we go. So those were the life lessons. And here is the vocabulary list. So vocabulary you'll need to know. To terminate. Let me bring my face back here for you. Hi. So to terminate means to end. Terminate's a word that you'll see used in employment. If you're going to end someone's contract, perhaps they have not conducted themselves very well at work. Some bad behavior has been going on. Maybe breaking the rules, turning up without uniform, being rude to a customer, or stealing money from the till. So anything like that would see your contract terminated. So to terminate is to end something. And then we have the word defeat. Now, we often use the word defeat when if you win against someone, you defeat them. So if you win in a battle, the other person has been defeated, you defeat them. Or if you win in a competition, then you have defeated your opponent. Your opponent is the person you're competing against. So we're going to talk about tennis. If I'm playing tennis with somebody else, let's say I'm playing with my partner, Nick. Nick is my opponent. We're battling, we're competing in a competition against each other. So I hopefully will defeat him, defeat my opponent. Okay, the next one is similar to opponent, and it's the word rival. Rival. A rival in terms of a person. So a noun, a rival is a person, or it could be a group, a team, a person competing with others for the same thing. So we're going for the same thing. So in this case, perhaps we're trying to win a tennis tournament. So they are my opponent, I'm going against them, but they're also my rival. We're both competing for the same thing. You might have a rival in love. So you might be both going for the same guy or girl. Hi, Darren. I hope you're well. This is a friend of mine who's got a fantastic YouTube channel called Improve Your Voice. Thanks for joining us. And thank you very much for the birthday wishes. I hope you're good. Lots of other people saying happy birthday too. Thank you, guys. You're all being very, very kind. Okay, moving on. So to storm to victory, to storm to. So normally storm is used in more negative ways. So the news in America not so long ago when people were incited to storm the Capitol. You might remember that news. And they used the verb storm, meaning all the people forcefully push their way into the Capitol buildings. So you storm a Capitol, or you storm a building when you force your way in. But here it's been used in a positive way. This girl storms to victory. It means that she's forcefully and unexpectedly won. Okay. I love this one, this description, something being jaw-dropping. jaw dropping. If something is jaw dropping, it means it's amazing and unbelievable because it literally makes you go, oh, can you see me? There we go. Oh, wow, it's jaw dropping. Jaw dropping. That's quite a mouthful, actually. Jaw dropping. Okay, the next one is the word run. Now, the word run actually has so many different potential meanings. But when we're talking about this particular article, we are talking about a sequence. So you have a run of something, a sequence. Things that happen in an order, like a run of good luck, you might say. Oh, having a real run of good luck. And that would mean that a number of lucky things have happened. So maybe on Monday, I won £10 on the lottery, and on Tuesday, I ran into an old friend by chance, and she gave me a gift or something like that. And then on Wednesday, I got a new job, and then on Thursday, I had some good news about a health concern. So then you could say, well, Anna's had a real run of good luck this week, a sequence of good luck. Okay, the word drop. When talking about sequences, if you drop something, then you lose something. So in a tennis tournament, you're playing a number of games, and in each tennis game, there are a number of sets. If you lose one, then you drop one. So she dropped one set, but won the overall match, I think you can say. Okay, any comments on anything I've mentioned so far? Let me see if I can see anything. Oh, Mahmood, you're such a flatterer. Thank you so much. Oh, here's a comment on what I said earlier. When in love, choices involve, it's not love. Fair enough. I said that people wouldn't agree with me. But that's okay. Jaw dropping is when you are in surprise and you open your mouth for a moment. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, let's carry on. So the next word is flair. Now, if you have flair, it means you have a natural ability to do something well. He's got a real flair for the piano, or she's got a real flair for baking. So it means you're naturally very good at something. Okay. So here's a saying: you could win clear sets, or a clear win means to achieve something by a large margin, so leaving no room for doubt. So if you say, oh, it was a clear win, then let's say if it's a football match, it wasn't, let's say there was loads of goals. Let's say it was 5-6. That's not a clear win. That's very close. But if it was like 5-0, then that's a clear win. So it's with a big margin. It's undoubtedly you have a winner, someone who's definitely better than the other person. Okay, and clear sets is particularly for tennis. To fling oneself, I've done it in the past tense here. There's the present tense. To fling oneself to the ground. If you fling yourself to the ground, it means you throw yourself dramatically down. So it's about being dramatic. It's to throw, but in a more dramatic way. So I could throw a box of tissues, but if I fling my tissues to the ground, then that's a bit more dramatic. So it's a phrase that just gives a bit more drama to throwing something. And usually we talk about people throwing themselves with this word, fling oneself. So I flung myself to the ground in distress. If my partner said, that's it, I'm done, I'm leaving you, then I might fling myself to the ground, really upset and emotional. And no, I might fling myself at his feet, say, no, don't leave me. I hope that makes it clear. Okay, the word sheer. Sheer is used to emphasize something, to emphasize how great or powerful it is. So I could say, the party I threw yesterday was great, But the sheer amount of food I bought was just unbelievable. And it just emphasizes how much food there was, how unbelievable it was. Conclude. To conclude means to end something, but not just to stop something, to end something with a final outcome. So it gives you a conclusion, so you know how it's going to end. If I stop a tennis match because someone's injured and there's no conclusive winner, then it's not really got a conclusion. We haven't concluded the tennis match. We've terminated it. We've ended it. But if we let it play out and somebody wins and there's a winner and a loser, then the match has concluded. We conclude the match. Okay. Oh, here's a nice one. Sheer bliss. Yeah, that's lovely. Sheer bliss means perfect happiness. Thank you for sharing that. That's a good one. Hang on, what do I want to share? Where's the one I want to share? Here one, Lulu. When I've had tantrums as a kid, when I had tantrums as a kid, I used to fling myself to the ground. That's it, isn't it? Exactly. When children have tantrums, they throw themselves on the ground going, I hate you. I just want to move out. I don't want you to be my parents anymore. Yeah, that sounds very familiar. Can we use fling yourself in a figurative sense? Could I fling myself into a new activity? No, I think in that sense you'd use throw instead of fling. I'm just going to throw myself into learning this new skill. I threw myself into it. I really got into it. Fling is definitely more physical. Good question, though. Good question. Okay, some of you can't see the text very well. I'm sorry about that. Maybe if you're on a small screen, you might find it difficult. Okay, let's get through this list and then we can look at the article. So we have magnificent. Magnificent. If something is magnificent, then it is very good. It's just a lovely way of saying something's very good. My birthday cake was magnificent. My birthday party was magnificent. It was the best birthday party I've ever had. His voice when he sang was magnificent. Okay, the next one is time out. Now, time out is used regularly just to mean to stop, to take a break. So you could have, we talk about timeouts actually, both, well, in a lot of situations, but we do use this a lot for behavior. So particularly with young people, or, you know, if you're finding a situation quite stressful or a conversation quite stressful, you might ask for a timeout. So if my kid is playing up, having a tantrum and flinging himself to the ground, I might say, right, you need a timeout. Let's take you into the other room and just wait until you calm down. You're going to have a timeout. Okay. Or if you're having a difficult discussion with a friend or a partner, then you might say, can we just have a timeout? I need some time to think this over and we'll come back to it. I just need some time out. Yeah. Some people say it when they're having a difficult time in their relationship. I just need some time out. That would be a worry. Okay, next we have riled. If someone is riled, it means they are upset or they are angered. I often see this as the phrasal verb to be riled up, to be riled up. He was very riled up. So if something riles you, though, it means it upsets you or angers you. The next one is to openly express. I've put it in the past tense here because that's how it is in the article. But if something is openly expressed, then it's a publicly. To publicly. That makes more sense. To publicly display how one feels. So I could privately express my disappointment, or quietly express my disappointment, which means I just do it quietly, secretly to you. Perhaps if I'm unhappy at work, I might quietly express my annoyance at a colleague to my boss, which means I just tell my boss. But if I openly express something, then I express it in a way that everyone hears and understands. So to openly do something is to publicly do it. Okay. So Mahmood said magnificent is a very British word. Okay. I wasn't aware of that, but okay, good. Hopefully then it's quite new for some people. Can we use the word magnificent to describe something has a negative meaning? No, no. I think magnificent is always used in a positive sense. Yes, I think you're describing another way to look at riled here. To be riled, disappointed, dismay. Shrug off is the next one. Hang on, let me just adjust these. I've done them all in past tense. Oh, you can't see the notes. Here we go. I've done them a lot of them in past tense because that's how they're written in the article. But to shrug something off means to treat something as unimportant. Now, a shrug here, if you can't see it, sorry, there. A shrug, a shrug is to do that. And that's normally what you expect a teenager to do. If you say, what do you want to do today? Oh, no. Would you like something nice for tea? Don't know. It's that thing where they don't seem to care. So someone shrugs, they don't care. And so it's to treat something as unimportant if you shrug it off. And this can be used in a positive way or in a negative way. So you could say, many people would find negative comments on YouTube upsetting, but this YouTuber just shrugs them off. She doesn't see them as important. She just shrugs them off. So that's positive. Or it could be negative. You could say, I told my partner I didn't love them anymore, and he just shrugged it off like he didn't care, for example. That wouldn't be very good, would it? Okay. Oh, thank you very much. I keep trying to pull up comments and then they move. My brother often shrugs at things. Yeah. Is he a teenager? Okay. Oh, yes. Yes. To shrug off, to dismiss. Could we... Oh, sorry, the comments are moving. Could we use take no notice as a synonym of shrug off? Yes. Yeah, so you could say, these girls were being mean to me at school, but I just shrugged it off. Or these girls were being mean to me at school and I just took no notice. I didn't pay attention to them. Yeah, you can use it in that way. In the past, it's shrugged off. I shrugged it off. So the girls were being mean to me, but I just shrugged it off. As a teenager, it would have really bothered me, but these days... But yeah, if you say last week someone was mean to me, but I just shrugged it off. As a teenager, it would have bothered me, but not now. Okay. Okay, so no, your brother is not a teenager. He's in his 40s, but he has a laid-back attitude to things. You have an attitude to something, not at. Okay. Okay, so next on the list is the word clamber. So clamber is similar to climb. It's kind of like to clamber up. It's kind of like not as steep as a climb. So you'd climb the stairs. That's not climbing like a vertical rock face. Can you use clamber on a vertical? Clambered up the mountain. I think about it on all fours. Bit of an incline to clamber. The next one is victor. If someone is the victor, then they are the winner. So she is the victor. She won the competition. She beat her opponent. She defeated her opponent. The next one is one I love, and it's the word euphoric. 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 If you are euphoric, then you are overwhelmed with excitement and happiness. You're euphoric, like really like it's big emotion. Big emotion. Euphoric. We're nearly at the end of the list. And the next word is relocate. To relocate means to move to a new location permanently. So we relocated our offices to France after Brexit. Or when I'm older, I'd like to relocate to Canada, you might say. Can I say my manager is a clamber? No. Do you mean climber? So no, you can't use it in that sense. Only climber. He's a climber if that's what he does. Not a clamber. I can't pronounce the word euphoric. So think about it like this. Think about it like this. Let me get it on screen. Euphoric. 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 Okay? Hope that helps. I was euphoric when I got exempted from the military service. I was euphoric when I received exemption from the military service. You don't need the from military service. When I was exempted. When I received exemption. Yeah, I think that's how you'd say it, when I received exemption. Okay. Flair, aptitude. Yeah, could be. Aptitude is to have a good ability to do something. So yeah. Okay, next on the list we have youth. Youth with a nice TH there at the end. Youth we can talk about a youth being a person. So there were a bunch of youths hanging out outside my house, and it made me nervous. Or you can talk about your youth when you're referring to a period of time when you were young. Your youth. Yeah. The next is the word qualify. To qualify when we're talking about competitions just means to get into the competition. So not everyone can enter every competition, particularly not national competitions. You normally have to qualify by showing you have a certain level of skill. So you have to be good to get in initially. And so you play a number of matches until you qualify. Okay. So to qualify, let me just bring that on screen so you can see it. To qualify is to get into a competition by proving you have the skills needed. Next is the word rank. To rank for something. If you rank something, then you put it in order of something like ability or age or height or anything, but you put things in order. So when we're talking about tennis players have a rank, and that means how good they are in the world of tennis players who are ranked. So if you're ranked the number one tennis player in the world, then you're the best tennis player in the world. Okay. Then we have a phrasal verb to cheer on. To cheer on. If you cheer someone on, it means you encourage them by clapping or cheering, yeah, or shouting, you're amazing, you can do it. So you cheer them on. You provide encouragement to help them to achieve what they're doing, what they're trying to achieve. The final one is one I love, which is the phrase to follow in someone's footsteps. What we often say, to follow in their footsteps, assuming that we know who you're talking about. So I might say, my grandma was an amazing artist and I want to follow in her footsteps. Or there have been many amazing tennis players who have come before me and I want to follow in their footsteps. So it means you want to do something that someone else has done previously. Let's have a look at these. To cheer up equals cheer on? No. Cheer up is different. If you cheer up or you try to cheer someone up, then it means to make them happy when they're feeling down. For example, if I was having a bad time in my life and today was my birthday and no one had remembered, I'd feel sad. And then you might decide to sing happy birthday to me to cheer me up. And that probably would cheer me up. Okay, so cheer on is, come on, Anna, you can win the race. To cheer up is, don't worry, you lost the race, but you ran really well. And I tell you what, I'm going to take you for dinner. And the dinner's on me. Will that cheer you up? Hopefully that helps. Children ought to be cheered on to study hard. I agree with the sentiment, but cheer on is often used mostly in kind of sporting activities. So it's something you physically do at the side, like you're watching them. So you cheer them on in rugby or in athletics if they're running or doing the javelin or the high jump. You might cheer on your football team if you're watching a football match. So it's literally like shouting when they're trying to achieve something to help to give them more adrenaline and motivation to work hard. We don't really cheer people on in terms of study because that's not something you watch them do. Does that make sense? You would encourage them, but you don't really cheer on studying, but the right sentiment. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to move on to this article, which means I just need to switch my screen share because unfortunately I can't stop screen. I can't set up two screen shares at the exact same time. So let me just get this going now. And we're going to move over to Sensations English, which is a fantastic website. I'm sure if you've been following my videos for a while, you'll be familiar with them. And they every week provide 3 different articles, which 2 videos and 1 written article. And there's a whole back catalogue of articles as well. And they're provided at 5 different levels. So you can have it super easy or advanced. And yeah, the videos and the write-up and all the activities that they provide will be available at all those different levels. So what I tend to suggest people do is to do the articles at a lower level, a level they can really comprehend, and then do the articles at a higher level. So they already have the context and the understanding, and then you can try and improve and increase your vocabulary and improve your sentence structure. This one is a written article, so there's no video with this one, but there is an audio, and I'm going to play that for you because I want you to get used to hearing other voices too. This is a very clear audio. Hopefully you can hear this. I'm going to play it for you now, and then you can have a listen.
Teen tennis player tastes victory.
Can you hear
20th of September, 2021. 18-year-old British tennis star Emma Raducanu has finally terminated the country's 44-year-long wait for a women's Grand Slam title by defeating opponent Leylah Fernandez of Canada in the US Open. The young sportswoman stormed to victory in New York through a jaw-droppingly impressive run in which she did not drop a single set. Her final match was also won with impressive flair, beating her rival in 2 clear sets, 6-4, 6-3. Raducanu flung herself to the ground in sheer relief after firing an ace to conclude what has been the most magnificent 3-week adventure. She served for the match at 5-3, but cut her leg as she went breakpoint down, and this led to a medical timeout, which clearly riled Fernandez, who openly expressed her irritation to the match official. However, Raducanu shrugged off the delay, saving a further break point before closing out her 3rd championship point. After the 2 teenagers had shared a hug, the victor clambered up the stands of the Arthur Ashe Stadium to embrace her euphoric team members. Born in Canada, Raducanu relocated to Britain with her Chinese mother and Romanian father as a toddler. She spent her youth in London and first picked up a tennis racket aged 5. But 2 years later, she was already taking part in local and regional tennis events in southern England. Raducanu has made history by being the first ever player to win a Grand Slam after entering the competition through qualifying rounds. Players ranked 104 and above are automatically entered, but she was only ranked 150. It is the first time in 44 years that a British woman has won one of the major tennis tournaments, and Raducanu was cheered on by an emotional Virginia Wade, the previous record holder, who walked away with a Grand Slam trophy at Wimbledon in 1977. It means so much to have Virginia Wade here, and also Tim Henman, Raducanu said in her on-court speech. They are British icons, and for me to follow in their footsteps gave me the belief I could do it.
Brilliant. Good. Okay. How was that? Were you able to understand it now that you've got the understanding of those individual words we went through? Let me know. And then what I'm going to do is just remove the screen share for that and then go back to the notes that I made and we'll go through it together briefly. Okay, so yeah, here's a good one. A timeout is what I covered earlier. Equals a hiatus. Yes, hiatus is a great word. I love that word. Okay, so we said 18-year-old British star Emma Raducanu has finally terminated the country's 44-year-long wait for a women's Grand Slam title by defeating opponent Leylah Fernandez of Canada in the US Open. Okay, that's a very long sentence. So let's just quickly break this down. Emma Raducanu has terminated, she's ended the long wait for a women's Grand Slam title. So that long wait is actually the country's wait. It's the country who's been waiting. And how long have they been waiting? 44 years. Okay, so those extra bits just add additional information. So it's an 18-year-old British tennis star. That just tells you about the person, Emma Raducanu. And she has finally, it means, you know, lots of people have tried but failed. She's finally ended this long wait, which is the country's 44-year-long wait for a women's Grand Slam title. So they've won this title. By, how has she done it? By defeating her opponent, Leylah Fernandez, who is of Canada, and she's defeated her in the US Open. Okay, so that's quite a complex sentence, but you can see the main points of the sentence, and then it's just been filled out. Okay. Mamu says, are there any following questions about the audio passage we listened to? If you're a member of Sensations English, yes, there's lots of incredible activities that you can do. You could spend quite a long time going through the activities that are associated with each article, and that's what's great about what they offer. But today, I'm not going to do that in the session just because it would go on forever. And I don't think everyone wants to stay here for hours and hours. So, but yes, Sensations English is a wonderful resource, and all those additional activities are available in every single article. So why not go and check them out? It's sensationsenglish.com. Nice and easy to remember. Okay, let me bring you back onto here. The young sportswoman stormed to victory. She forcefully and unexpectedly was victorious. She won in New York through a jaw-droppingly impressive run. So remember, a sequence, an incredible sequence in which she did not drop, she didn't lose a single set. So within tennis, you play a round is like sets. I think, if I remember my tennis properly. So you play a number of sets, and I think it's the first person, or the best of 3 sets, or the best of 5 sets wins the tennis match. Her final match was also won with impressive flair. So her talent really showed that she really has a talent for this game. Beating her rival, 2 players, both playing for the same thing, which is the Grand Slam title, beating her rival in 2 clear sets. So she won 2 sets back to back, clear. No doubt she won. 6-4, 6-3. Raducanu flung herself to the ground. Oh, dramatic. I won. In sheer relief. So that's the emotion with which she flung herself to the ground. Oh, I won. After firing an ace. Now, I didn't include this in the list of vocabulary because this is very, very much particular to tennis. An ace, if you ace someone, is when you serve. So the first person to hit the ball in a round or a set. The first serve, if you serve and the other person can't return it, the serve just is so fast and so good that the other person can't hit it, you win that point. That's an ace. So she got aced and she fired it. It was really fast, I assume. That's quite a descriptive word, to fire something hard and fast. So she fired, after firing an ace. To conclude, so that was what ended what has been the most magnificent 3-week adventure. So they're referring to her run, her sequence of games as an adventure, a 3-week-long adventure. Okay, any questions on what we're doing so far? No. Good. Okay. She served for the match at 5-3, but cut her leg as she went to break point. Went to break point down. Now, these are very particular tennis terms, which I'm not sure I fully understand, so I won't explain them. But if you're a tennis fanatic, then you'll understand them. As this led to a medical timeout. So because she cut her leg, they had a timeout. And this is usually the sign that we give when we want timeout in a sporting thing, or if you can't talk directly to the person, you do that. That's the sign. I need timeout, stop, cut it, stop. Which clearly riled. So it angered, it upset her rival, Fernandez, that she needed timeout to get her leg seen to. And her rival openly expressed her irritation to the match official. So she made it very clear to everyone that she was upset, that they had to stop the match. However, Raducanu shrugged off. I don't care. She shrugged off the delay, saving a further break point before closing out her 3rd championship point. Okay. So after the 2 teenagers, so both these girls are young, after the 2 teenagers had shared a hug, so they embraced, they hugged, the victor, so Raducanu, she was the one that won, the victor clambered up, so she roughly got up the stairs. She clambered up the stands. The stands are it's the seating in kind of arenas and sporting places that go up, the stands. She clambered up the stands of the Arthur Ashe Stadium to embrace her euphoric team members. Oh my gosh, you won! Wow! We're so happy! They're euphoric. And then it tells us a bit more about her. It says, born in Canada, Raducanu relocated, so she moved permanently to Britain with her Chinese mother and Romanian father as a toddler. So she relocated as a toddler, meaning she was probably about 2 years old. She spent her youth, so her young years, when she was very young, in London, and first picked up a tennis racket aged 5. But 2 years later, she was already taking part in local and regional tennis events in southern England. So a local event would be like in your town, but regional would be like across the county, so or in the south. But usually it's like within a county, so within the county of Surrey or within the county of Lancashire. That's more regional, a region, an area. Raducanu has made history. If you make history, it means you do something that's worthy of noting in history. It's quite unusual, and so it would kind of go down in the history books as something unusual, an event that's quite astonishing. She made history by being the first ever player to win a Grand Slam after entering the competition through qualifying rounds. Remember, to qualify is to show that you're good enough to be in the competition. Well, she had to go through qualifying rounds, which players don't normally have to do if they are already ranked, if they're good. So it says players ranked 104 and above. So if they're really good, they're the top 104 players in the world. They're automatically entered into the competition. They don't have to play qualifying rounds. But she was only ranked 150. So that's amazing. That's amazing. It is the first time in 44 years that a British woman has won one of the major tennis tournaments, and Raducanu was cheered on by an emotional Virginia Wade. Yes, you can do it. Come on, girl. Yeah. The previous record holder was Virginia Wade, the previous record holder, who walked away with a Grand Slam trophy. The trophy is like the silverware, the cup that you win when you win a tournament. The Grand Slam trophy at Wimbledon in 1977. So it's been a long time. It's been a long time. It means so much to have Virginia Wade here, and also Tim Henman, who's another big British tennis player. Raducanu said in her on-court speech, so the speech she gave on the tennis court, "They are British icons, and for me to follow in their footsteps gave me the belief I could do it." Yeah, it was fantastic. And I really love to see, and this is what I was kind of alluding to earlier about, age is just a number. You're never too young or too old to be happy, to achieve something. If you really want something and you need something in your life to make you happy, then go for it. Do it. Don't let age be a factor that holds you back. Okay. Okay. So the next thing we're going to move on to, because I can't stay here for too long, is to talk about British birthday traditions. Now, I have previously, on a previous birthday a few years ago, talked about British birthday traditions, but I thought I'd just touch on it because many of you are new here. And if you are watching for the first time, then don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button so that you know when I go live again, which I do at least once a month at the moment, and more often for those of you who are students on my Elan website. But let's cover these traditions now briefly so you know how we Brits celebrate our birthday. Now I'm going to bring these notes up for you. So singing is a big part of our birthday, as I'm sure it is in your country too. And we all celebrate the anniversary of our birth, which is our birthday, once a year, except for the Queen. The Queen has 2 birthdays. And this is a tradition started by Edward VII, who feared that the weather would be too inclement, which means just bad, to celebrate his birthday, which was in November. And that's, reasonable. I would imagine that the weather in November would probably not be good enough to have a birthday outdoors. And so he felt he should have 2 birthdays. And that tradition has kind of continued with the reigning monarch. And so we will usually mark the occasion on our actual birthday or on the closest convenient day. So a convenient day would be a day when most people are available and free to have a celebration. So at the weekend would be the most convenient for many people. Last weekend, we celebrated my son's 3rd birthday. His birthday was actually yesterday, but we celebrated it. Well, we actually had a celebration on Saturday. We had a big day out for him. And then we had a little party yesterday for him as well. So he had 2 birthdays like the Queen, but we marked it mainly on the Saturday for him because he was available and we were available to really focus on him. Now, for me, today is not my birthday, but it was the most convenient day for me to celebrate it with you. And on my actual birthday, I will be celebrating. So my actual birthday is convenient for me this year. Okay, so what do you normally do? Will you only celebrate it on your actual day and just make space? Or will you do the same? Will you kind of find the nearest weekend to celebrate? You tell me. Okay, let me just have a look, see if there's any comments here that I can share. Okay, let me keep going for a little while and then I'll have a look, see if there's any questions about British birthdays. Do let me know, or share your birthday traditions, please. So, party time. Most children and some adults actually throw or have a party. So, we use the verb to throw when we talk about parties, just meaning like the organizing and the putting on of the event. We throw a party or have a party. So, if you're lucky, then your loved ones may throw a surprise birthday party for you. That's always nice, isn't it? As long as it's not too surprising. With most parties, invitations will be sent or given out. So you send out invitations or give out invitations if you see them in person. Often they're just little paper invitations or cards sent through the door. These days, you could even send invitations via WhatsApp or digital. And guests are asked to RSVP, so to reserve their space, basically to say they are coming. So they RSVP to these invites. I've had an invitation recently and I had to send the lady a text message or phone her to let her know that we would be going. A party could be held in the home or out at a restaurant or a theme park or a zoo. Many of these theme parks and zoos will actually really, what's the word? I can't think of the word. They will help people who want to have parties. There's a word, accommodate. They'll accommodate birthday parties. So they'll have packages. So a zoo might say, have your party with us, and they'll give you a space where they'll provide catering. So they'll do the food and they'll have a table and they'll help with decorations perhaps. And they'll have a special like VIP experience for anyone who's attending that party. So it might be that they get to see some of the animals being fed or something like that, something special that normal paying public don't get. So they will accommodate a birthday party. And many pubs, if you want to have your birthday, if you're an adult and want to have a birthday or any celebration, many pubs will have a function room. It's called a function room, which is usually a larger room that is just for functions, which is just another way of saying an event, like a party or a get together, a gathering of lots of people for a certain thing. Okay. Okay, lots of talk about parties here. I sometimes celebrated my birthday together with my brother because his birthday is just one day after mine. Oh no! When someone crashes your birthday because their birthday is really close, then that can be great because it means you can have a joint party. But sometimes it just sometimes takes the focus off you a little bit. My son was born very close to me, obviously, because he's just had his birthday and now it's my birthday. But there are lots of birthdays in our family. There's lots of birthdays in September, and it's frustrating in a way because it means that a lot of thought and money and time is spent across all these people rather than being able to really focus on one birthday and one person. You have to think, oh, okay, I've only got so much money this month. We're going to have to really water it down and spread it out. Okay, I don't know what it is about September. So many people have birthdays in September. Okay, let's have a look at the notes again. So, yes, parties can be held in lots of different places that will usually accommodate them. The house or the place where you're having your function will be decorated with things like bunting. Bunting are the little triangular flags all in a line, or banners. We often have a sparkly banner that will say happy birthday or well done, congratulations, or whatever it is. And they will be hung above so you can see them. And there's usually balloons. I bought balloons. I've got balloons. I was a bit late. I should have decorated. I've got a black balloon. That's not typical, but my son had a digger themed birthday party. So we had orange, yellow and black were the colors that we had for his birthday. Useful. And yeah, so the balloons are a big thing. Often balloons are filled with helium. Is it helium that makes them go up? Yeah, helium. And some people like to do the party trick of sucking the helium to make the voices go really high pitched. I'm not sure how good it is for you to suck loads of helium, but it is funny to hear people like singing things when they've got a high pitch with "Happy birthday to you." It's quite funny. So helium balloons. What else? Balloons. Oh yes, and sometimes confetti. So confetti are the little bits of, I think it used to be rice, but now it's just bits of paper, or sometimes the kind of sparkly bits of plastic. Not very good for the environment, but you throw, or it kind of just gets scattered on the tables as part of the decoration. You might also have poppers or streamers. Poppers are the little, they're like a little case filled with bits of stringy paper, and they have a little bit of explosion in them. You pull the string and it explodes and bursts all this paper out, and it goes streaming everywhere. And a streamer is similar. It's a roll of paper, and you throw it, and it just, yeah, makes a mess. Makes a mess because everyone likes a mess at a birthday. Yes, absolutely. A birthday in September must be something to do with Christmas. You're absolutely right. Christmas, when everyone gets friendly and happy and spending lots of time at home with loved ones. And then you have lots of babies born in September. Oh no, my birthday is December 29th, 4 days after Christmas. So my parents only give me a gift, one gift for both celebrations. Oh, I'm so sorry. I always think it must be quite tricky if you have like children or family whose birthday is actually on Christmas Day or around Christmas Day, especially if you celebrate Christmas and there's lots of gift giving. So if it's after Christmas, people are skint. They spent all their money on Christmas celebrations. And so, yeah, tricky, very tricky. Don't guests throw rice at weddings? Yes, but more often now they throw, in the UK, they throw ready-made confetti, which is just pieces of paper cut into little shapes, or like the coloured bits of coloured paper. Okay. Oh dear, my dad's birthday is on December 24th. Same situation for him. Oh, poor dad. Poor dad. No. So many of you, birthdays in December. I'm so sorry to hear that. Okay, so back to the notes. We have the guests dress up. Of course you would for a celebration. They dress up in their smart clothes or in fancy dress if there is a theme. Our theme yesterday was digger theme, but we didn't tell people to dress up in a like builder theme or anything. So people just came in their smart clothes. But you might have a black tie theme or a James Bond theme where they have to dress kind of like I'm dressed in a fancy lacy black outfit, or a suit and a tie. Or it might be like a crazy theme, like a Minions theme. That's my childminder back with the child. So yes, if it was a Minions theme, you'd probably have to paint yourself yellow or something. Wear a really yellow outfit with some blue dungarees. If you know Minions, they're Pixar cartoon. But normally they will bring a gift and a card. So it's kind of expected if you go to a party that you'll turn up with a gift or a card. If people turn up empty-handed, and they've got nothing in their hands, they're empty-handed, then they might even apologize for that. Say, I'm sorry, I feel embarrassed turning up empty-handed. I left the present on the train, or I didn't have time to buy anything, or I ordered it on Amazon and it hasn't arrived yet. So yeah, people are usually embarrassed to turn up empty-handed. My nephew is obsessed with the Minions. Yeah, I quite like the Minions. They're very funny, very clever, very clever. Smart in terms of dress code, is smart equivalent to formal? Yes, formal or semi-formal. Okay, Nick, can you see Nikki? Sorry, my childminder's coming to the door. See what's happening with the baby. Okay, let's carry on. So Yes, gifts and cards we're talking about here. Gifts are normally wrapped or in a bag, so we normally have wrapping paper. Often the paper has got lovely patterns on, it might be sparkly. These days now, I try to wrap in just plain brown paper because it's recyclable. Or I will recycle old paper. If I've managed to unwrap presents very carefully, I'll reuse the paper to be kind to the environment and reduce my waste. Or I'll use bags. I'll always reuse gift bags, save them for another time. And in the future, I'd quite like to start wrapping presents in cloth to be even more environmentally friendly. But it takes a lot of organization. I'm not very organized. I always forget where I've left things and where I've hidden things around the house. So then we talk about cards. I've got some lovely cards here in the background. So card giving is very popular in the UK. Some cards even have a badge for the receiver to wear. If you cannot attend a birthday celebration, then you'd normally post the card in advance so that your loved one or your friend knows that you haven't forgotten their birthday. And yeah, it's nice to get cards. It's very nice to get cards. Although I'm wondering at what age do people start sending you old people cards? So old people cards are cards that are just really quite plain, like just flowers or something very bland. I quite like funny cards and interesting cards. And I always feel sorry for like when you're a bit older, the old people cards are really, really dull. It's like old people aren't dull. They've had a life. They have a sense of humor. Like, yeah, I don't want to get old people cards. And old people also tend to just get soap and socks as their presents. Now I'm definitely getting more soap and socks as gifts from people these days. So maybe I am moving into that category. So here in the lower classes of the Philippines, newspaper is even conventional already. That's interesting. I mean, so we use tissue paper, not tissue as in toilet roll, but we use tissue paper to kind of wrap things that are inside a bag, just so people can't peep in and see it in advance. I wouldn't be against using newspaper. I used the paper that comes out of Amazon boxes. So when you've had a delivery from Amazon, they usually have lots of brown paper shoved in to help pack it. And so I just use that brown paper and then I'll just put stickers on it or like draw on it or something, depending on who it's going to. But I wouldn't like to use newspaper just because I'd be worried about the ink transferring. Our newspapers, the ink transfers very easily. So if you handle newspapers, you tend to get the ink on your hands. And I wouldn't want it going all over the gift. Okay. Manuel, when you were 40, you stopped having birthdays. So you're always 40. I think that's a good idea. I think I want to stop at 27. Maybe it's a bit too late for that. 27 was my most favorite age. I think 27 is a great age. Okay, food and cake. There will normally be a meal or a buffet. A buffet, not a buffet. A buffet. A buffet is just like a selection of foods. Baby's on his way. A buffet is a selection of foods that you can pick at. So it could be warm or cold foods, but you pick at it and take what you want. I like a buffet. And of course, cake. So these are all served on paper plates usually. And it could be themed if you've got a themed party. And you often have paper cups as well because it's just easier. And this is little Caspian with his crazy hairdo. Hello, Casper. Hi. Come say a quick hello. Not that you can see everyone. Oh, you're going now. Oh, gosh. This is going to be tricky. Okay, we have to make this quick now, guys. Okay. Hi. Hi. So in the workplace, it's typical for someone else to buy the cake for you if it's your birthday. And this cake can be a work of art. It can be like really artistic, or it could just be quite plain. And sometimes you write on it and say, "Happy birthday, Dexter," or whoever's birthday it is. But you should always have candles. Candles is, you're going to take them back. Okay. Candles are, really important. When you're a child, you have a candle for every year of life. So if you're 3, then you have 3 candles. But if you're 40, you probably aren't going to have 40 candles. You probably just have an age candle, so a 4 and a 0. Or you can have sparklers or magic candles that relight every time you blow them out. They're really annoying. And then when it's time to blow out those candles, everyone sings happy birthday. Now, our version of a happy birthday is different to other countries. We basically sing happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear Anna, happy birthday to you. And sometimes you might add on, and many more. And then people do the hip, hip, hooray, hip, hip, hooray, hip, hip, hooray. 3. And then you might do another, and 1 for good luck, hip, hip, hooray. So that's normally how it goes. And then the birthday boy or girl will make a wish and blow out the candle. They won't tell anyone what the wish is. It's really important that you keep it to yourself. And they blow out that candle. Very nearly finished. Yeah, Caspian wants a hug. Adult celebrations may involve something different to a party, like paintballing or something like a spa day or a trip to a comedy club, something more grown up. And yeah, that's our birthdays really in a nutshell, wrapped up. And I'm just going to finish now because I do have to take care of this little one with 3 jokes that are birthday related. So first of all, what did the teddy bear say when it was offered some birthday cake? What did the teddy bear say when he was offered some birthday cake? He said, "No thanks, I'm stuffed." Funny because bears are stuffed with stuffing. They are stuffed. So no thanks, I'm stuffed, because stuffed also means I'm full. I'm full, I don't want anything else to eat. The next one is, I always feel warm on my birthday because people don't stop toasting me. Another play on words, to toast something is to heat it up until it's cooked lightly. So you put a piece of bread in the toaster and it toasts, so makes toast. But if you take your drink and say, to Anna, or happy birthday, and everyone drinks, that's to toast them, to like drink as a mark of respect. So I always feel warm on my birthday because people don't stop toasting me. Get it? Okay. And finally, what did the pirate say on his 80th birthday? What did the pirate say on his 80th birthday? He said, I'm matey. I'm matey. Let me show you how it's written, and that will help. I meaning yes. Oh, I. They often say I instead of yes. And matey. I'm matey. And it sounds like I'm 80. I am 80. Terrible jokes. The kind of jokes that make you go, oh, rather than laugh out loud. Anyway. Thank you guys for joining me on this very special birthday lesson. As you know, I have to run. But before I go, I want to let you know that we are getting very close to completing all of the courses that we have on offer over on englishlikeanative.co.uk. And I'd love for you to come and join us there. We've got some really good blog posts. So many of the lessons are moving forward now. Most of the lessons that we release will have an accompanying blog post where you can find all the stuff that we talked about and more written down for you to see, alongside some interactive activities so you can do quizzes and try and embed your learning. Now, we already have a number of really great blog posts up there with interactive activities for you to have a go at. So do go over to englishlikeanative.co.uk to check those out and try for yourself, see if you like it. If you like the format, then we'll do lots more of those. I hope you all have a wonderful day, week, month, and when it's your birthday, I wish you a very happy birthday. Thanks again for joining me. Until next time, give this video a like. Take care.